Hey there, my name is Craig. I am the Archi-Tech guy. In this video, I'm going to go over how to use markups in Bluebeam. So you can find all your toolbars or your markups in the toolbar up on the right under Tools and then Markup. And there's a list of them here. You can also find that same list over here on the right hand side. For this video, I'll mostly be on the right hand side using them. So I'll click on the text box here. So really over on the right, you've got text box, you've got some highlighter tools, some line tools, a call out, some shapes, and then some clouds like you'd use in maybe a CB or an addendum. And then there's the properties that it'll change based on the tool that you have selected. All the properties show up here. And then the properties for that tool also show up over here. Some will be grayed out and inactive or active based on the tool or tools you have selected. So if you want to keep this toolbar closed over on the right, you can and just use them up here. So to start out, I'm going to use a text box. I'm just going to click and drag, and these will be the extents of where my text tool will go. So I'll just type for some demonstrating purposes here. So you can see I've got the red text with no fill color, no border. So the color, that's going to be my border color, but since I have no line width, nothing is showing up. So if I bump that up to 5, you'll be able to see the red color there. My fill color, I'm going to choose yellow. The opacity, sometimes this doesn't work right away, but then if you click off of it and then click back on, that will work better. I'm not sure the reason behind that, but it seems a little glitchy. So that's going to be my text and border opacity, and then the fill opacity is going to be that infilled color opacity. And then I can change my line style. It's kind of cool. I can even change the shape from a rectangle to a circle to a triangle. So if you make something and then want to go back and change that, you can. Then down over here, you've got your font size, and typical font tools that you'd see in a Word document. So the alignment, center, right, and left justified, and then vertically, how you want to justify that. You can choose bold and strike through text, or italicized, or underlined. So then what you can do with this, if you know you're going to be using this tool a lot, or this particular set of properties for that tool, you can either set as default, and what that's going to do is that every time in the future it'll choose the same properties that you have chosen here. So let's say this is going to be a standard text tool that I'm going to use from here on out, or at least a bulk of the majority. Then you could set that as your default, and then every time you use the text tool, it'll have this red dash line, the red text, and then the yellow fill color. Or if you think you'll be using this tool a lot, but maybe not, you don't want to set it as your default, you can add to your tool chest. So I'm going to choose My Tools here, and that adds it over to the My Tools here. And then, so if I ever want to use the same set in the future, I can just click that and then click one more time on the document, and it'll keep the same properties there. And then I can go through and change the text to whatever. And then really a lot of your tools over on the right hand side are going to mimic the same properties. So you'll have the same color and fill options. Obviously if there's not a text tool, you won't have the text options. But I use the text tool all the time, so that's really useful to be able to know how to do. Another one that's text related as well is this callout tool. Q is a shortcut, but let's say I want to put a note in here for the table, and maybe the table is by owner. So then you can, it's just like in Revit where you have keynotes or text callouts. You can do the same thing here. And if I want to add another leader, I can right click on there, add a leader. Maybe this reception desk is by owner as well. Then again, I've got the same properties here. I can change the line width. And then right clicking on a markup brings up a bunch of tools as well, or a bunch of options. You can change the layer of it. You can change it the order of it. So if you want it to be behind another markup, you can do that. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this one. And I'll just show you how this works. So let's say I had another call out and I want to right align both of these. So that's nice and clean looking. I can highlight both by clicking it and then shift to click on both of them. And if I do right click in alignment, I can align right, and that's going to adjust the two markups so that they're right aligned. And then there's a couple other options that you can do in here. I'll let you explore that, but really that's what I right click and use the most, is to either add a leader or to align them. And then one other tool I'm going to highlight real quick. It's this notes tool here. So if I click that, and maybe I want a note in the break room, so I can click that and put in generic text note here. And then the way this works is if I save this PDF document and then someone else opens it, they will be able to click on this note and then they'll be able to see the text that I have written here. So it's a great clean way to go through your document and add a bunch of notes to the rooms without cluttering it with text and leaders and arrows all over the place. So those tools are super helpful and I use those all the time. And then you can use similar tools with this cloud tool. And it just makes a bubble there, and similar to like what you would see in an addendum or a construction bulletin. And then highlighter works pretty much like you'd think. And then if it finds some text, you can just highlight that text. It's not really working here, but there you go. So that's just a quick overview of most of the tools that I use on a regular basis and just how to modify the properties. Thank you for watching. My name is Craig. I'm the Archi-Tech guy, and I will catch you next time.